I just got in from a exactly 2 mile walk. It's actually not even that hot yet. So I know that I push myself if I'm sweating this much because I'm wearing a tank top and just regular leggings. But this morning it was 71 because it rained all night and all morning. And now it might be like 70, like 78. But let me just turn this off really quick. 2 miles. Anyway, that's a big deal for me, and I've been pushing myself to do 2 miles every day as much as I can. I have my fanny pack in here. When it gets really hot, I will be bringing water with me, but I felt like it was so cool that I didn't need it. But just in case, my hubby got me some really, really strong pepper spray, and then I have a Swiss Army knife in my bag, but my neighborhood's really nice, so hopefully I'll never have to need that, but I have it just in case. Anyway, I just got in. Oh, here's my new headphones. I love these things. Bluetooth headphones make walking so much more enjoyable now that Gizmo doesn't come with me because he slowed down so much. So I'm just gonna clean myself up a little bit. I just took a shower, so I'm not gonna take another one. I took a shower. I know I did it backwards before I went out, but I'm gonna wipe up, I'm gonna make some coffee, and then let's talk. It is seriously such a beautiful day out. Thank God, because it's been hot lately. But get a little bit of a break this morning. Hey guys, how are you? I hope you're all doing well. I just took a shower like 2 hours ago. My hair is still wet, but then I decided to go for a long walk, and then I came back all sweaty. So I probably should have taken the shower afterwards, but that's okay. I can always take another one. But my hair is still wet. It's clean. So anyway, I'm just having my coffee, and I'm actually having it black this morning. So I just wanted to pop up on here. Now, I still have to edit my weigh-in from last week, which I haven't gotten around to. I've actually been really busy this week. Today was like the first day where I kind of just had time to sit down, process everything. I made a huge list of things that I need to do in my house. But I wanted to pop up on here and talk about what's been going on with me this week. So I went to the doctor, and I'm really glad that I went. It's been a while since I've had blood work or a physical exam, so I was just like, it's time to go. Even though I have the worst insurance, I had to pay out of pocket. As you can see, I'm all bruised up. I did get blood work done. They had to prick me a few times because couldn't find my veins. I have little tiny veins. But anyway, okay. So I went through, I have most of my blood work numbers in this notebook. I wrote them down. It says, pour yourself a drink and put on some lipstick and pull yourself together. Elizabeth Taylor. I love this notebook. Even when it gets full, I think I'm just going to keep it for this because that's awesome. So I do have my blood. Okay, so it's been like, I do have my blood work, my numbers written down, the ones that need work. And then I do have my numbers from when I got my blood work done 4.5 years ago, I think it was 4.5 or 5 years ago. It was either 2015 or 2016. So I kind of compared some of my numbers. I don't have all of my numbers written down, but I did compare some of them that I did have written down. Now, I was having like abdominal pain, and I think what happened was I pulled a muscle. Okay, so I went to the chiropractor and I got all of this done. My cousin is a chiropractor. I still paid regular rates, guys. I didn't want to insult her or anything. So It's just a little bit easier to talk to somebody that you know that is a doctor. So they do blood work, lab work. They can test you for anything with lab work. If you have to do any urine test or anything, they can test you like that. They do x-rays, adjustments. So it's more of a holistic approach in a way. So when I went to the doctor 4 or 5 years ago, I had high glucose. I had a high thyroid, abnormal thyroid. I had high cholesterol. I had a high A1C. I was actually pre-diabetic. So there was a lot going on with me then. And I thought it would be good to see where I stand, get my blood work done, make sure that there's nothing wrong with my kidneys or my liver, because I was having, abdominal pain like on my side. She told me it was like flank pain because I was doing so much yard work. But most of that's gone. I would say I'm 90% better. I've been icing it, taking some anti-inflammatories, not too many. I don't want to overdo it. But anyway, so now we're focusing on my blood work. So she asked me, what do you want to come in for this visit? Like, what do you want this to be for? I says, well, obviously I was having side pain, but most of that's gone. So let's take it this way. Let's take it as if an obese person came into your office and wanted to see where they stood by taking blood work. And I'm talking doing a massive full panel, testing a lot of things. So let's take it that way. Let's say this obese person wants to get onto the road to health. And I have, okay? Like, I know there's been a lot of ups and downs, but in the last 2.5 years, I'm still down like 45 pounds, something like that, okay? So that's a big plus. But I still wanted to see where I stood. So let's talk about a few things. In my notebook, I have everything written down. You can see lots of stuff. Okay. So I have goals on my blood work, the things that need to be improved. And some things improved greatly from 4 or 5 years ago. So the first thing that improved was my glucose. My glucose, I'm sorry. I used to have 110 glucose, and I got my glucose down to 92. So I got my glucose down. That's like a big deal right there. So that's a huge improvement. Okay. I also got my liver and my kidneys, my blood work showed that they were fine, which is good, thank God. So my liver and my kidneys are fine. My vitamin D is pretty low, so I need to correct that. She told me to spend 20 minutes out in the sun every day and take vitamin D supplements, 10,000 IUs. I think it's called an IU. So I do have vitamin D. I'm almost done, so I am going to get more vitamin D supplements. So that's one thing I have to start taking is a vitamin D supplement. Now, my white blood cell count was normal, which is good, thank God. So my body is not really fighting anything that would destroy my white blood cells. But my red blood cell count, not normal, it's low. And she wants me to take iron supplements, which I will. But first, she wants to do a few more tests on me because there's a condition called thalassemia and it runs in my family. So she wants to make sure that I don't have thalassemia. If I do, then she'll know how much of a dosage of iron I should be looking at taking every single day. I was having issues going to the washroom, so she not prescribed, but she recommended that I take 500 milligrams of magnesium a day, which I do. I actually take that before bed, and thank God, that problem has for the most part gone away. And I think that's one reason why I was having abdominal pain, because I had really bad constipation, and like the combination of that with like the yard work, it wasn't good, you guys. So I'm going to be taking magnesium as well. Okay, so there's a couple things on here that are good and some that are not so good. And one thing that I got tested for that I've never been tested for before, so I'm really glad that she tested me. She did a really in-depth panel. Okay, my cholesterol overall is good. I was surprised because I used to have high cholesterol. That was kind of a big deal seeing that because I got my cholesterol down naturally. I'm not on any sort of medication to get it down. So I was able to bring my high cholesterol down to a normal number. But my bad cholesterol, my LDL, is about 10 points over. Anything under 99 is normal. I was at 108. So I'm going to work on that. And she says exercising and taking fish oil should help. Now, my good cholesterol, my HDL, anything normal is 50 to 240. I was at 41. So I have a goal to get that down to 60 the next time I draw blood in about 6 months. And then also my LDL cholesterol, my bad cholesterol, from 108, 99 is normal. I'm going to try to bring it down to 90. I don't know how, just through diet and exercise, supplements. We'll try it. Now, here's one of the big major things, you guys. I was pre diabetic, okay? This was like 4.5, 5 years ago, somewhere in there. I was pre diabetic. I had an A1C of 6.1. So, not good, right? And that's been going through my mind these last how many years? Am I still pre diabetic? Do I have full blown diabetes? That's really scary to me. And for somebody who has an autoimmune disease, polycystic ovarian syndrome, PCOS, it goes hand in hand with diabetes. So that's something that I have to be careful and watch out for, because my chances of developing type 2 diabetes are much higher because of my autoimmune disease. It's insane. But I'm so happy to report that my A1C came down to 5.5. I am the normal range. I'm in the normal range. I am no longer pre-diabetic just by eating right, moving a little bit, and I'm working on that part by moving a lot more. So the fact that I am no longer pre-diabetic and I have a normal blood sugar of glucose and A1C is amazing to me. That I'm at 5.5, that I have a normal person's blood sugar, like a non-diabetic's blood sugar, and that I'm no longer pre-diabetic. That part was such a relief. Because the one thing that was going in the back of my mind was, do I have diabetes now? And I needed to get this blood work done, this blood panel done. So this was like kind of a really big deal. And I know that this has been from working hard the last 2 years and eating healthy. I know I've had a couple of big gains, but I've always worked at taking those off. And I need to keep going because I don't want to become diabetic. I don't want to have a heart attack or a stroke because of diabetes. Now, another kicker is I used to have 4 to 5 years ago, I remember when I went to the doctor, extremely high blood pressure. And I know I've taken that down myself because I have a blood monitor, a blood pressure monitor here at the house, but she took my blood pressure there too. My pulse was fine, which was really good, my resting heart rate. So my blood pressure used to be like 165 over 94. It was something in that area. My blood pressure was, when I went to the doctor the other day, she took my blood pressure and my blood pressure was at like 119 over 74. Like, that is amazing. I know I've gotten it down to 110 over 70 before, and I'm working on that now that I'm adding a lot more physical activity into my day. So I know I can get there. I mean, I'm still in very good range, but I'm like, I want to get that 110 over 70 again. So my cholesterol overall, my cholesterol is good. I have to work on it a little bit, but I have a normal cholesterol range. My glucose is down. I'm no longer pre-diabetic, and my blood pressure is down. So that's all good. Another thing that went down a lot was my triglycerides. My triglycerides used to be high around 200, and my triglycerides came in at 149. She said you get high triglycerides by eating like bread, chips, like cookies, stuff like that. So things that are not good for you. And I got my triglycerides down to 149, but we do have a goal. And 149 is the high end of the normal range. It's anywhere from, I forget what number, up to 150. So I'm at the very end of the range, but I still am in the normal range. I've gotten my triglycerides down as well. But through diet and exercise and supplements that I will be taking, I am going to try to lower my triglycerides down to 100. So the next time I get my blood work done, we'll see what it's at, and hopefully it'll go down closer to the 100 range. Now, my red blood cell count is low. I'm going to, like I said, my sister was diagnosed with thalassemia. It could run in the family very well. So I'm going to have to do some more blood work before I start taking iron supplements, because she says you could overdose on iron. So I want to see what's going on with that before I start taking iron supplements. She says I'm not super, super low, but she says let's not take the iron for now, and let's wait on that so we can see where it is that you are at, how much iron exactly it is that you need. So I will have to take an iron supplement at some point. And then my thyroid 5 years ago was extremely abnormal. I actually went when I got my blood work done I had to go get an ultrasound to make sure that there was no tumor or cancer on my thyroid. Because so like my regular thyroid tested, she says this is so weird. It tested, and this happened last time, it tested normal, my thyroid. But there's a couple other parts of the thyroid that she tested. I think it's called your TPO. Your TPO antibodies. And this is, okay, anywhere from 0 to 9.0 is normal. And 4 or 5 years ago when I went to the doctor, gosh, I want to say it was 2015 or 2016. I can't remember. But anyway, my thyroid then tested at 1,766. And I had to go and get an ultrasound. I had to go see a specialist, go get an ultrasound to make sure that I didn't have cancer or a tumor on my thyroid. And thank God, thank the good Lord, I did not have anything like that. So that was obviously a huge deal. But I never did anything else about my thyroid. But I did get my TPO tested. My regular thyroid came out fine, which she says is so bizarre. Same thing happened last time. But my thyroid TPO antibodies came in at 1,100. So I was able to get that down without doing anything other than diet and exercise, which I'm super confused. Like I didn't think that could happen. So she says that is a good sign. So we're gonna have a goal. I know the normal is 0 to 9.0, but we're gonna have another goal to get my thyroid down from 1,100. So it was at 1,766. Now I've dropped it down to 1,100 naturally. With supplements, she recommended that I take selenium supplements. So I had to do my research and order selenium. I'm gonna find probably the best that I can find. My goal would be to get that down to 800 with the selenium and see, because maybe I can get it down throughout the next year or two. So I do have Hashimoto's. That proves to me that I have Hashimoto's disease. It's an autoimmune disease, and your body attacks your thyroid, which causes lethargy. I'm always tired and easily like gaining weight. I have easy weight gain. It can mess with your hormones. So all this ties in together with the PCOS, because the PCOS is a hormonal disorder. There's so much going on with my body, and those two go hand in hand. So the vitamin D actually deficiency, the Hashimoto's, and the PCOS, they're all bonded together. These all go hand in hand. Now diabetes goes with this too. I don't have it. Thank God I don't have it. I'm no longer pre-diabetic. So I have to work on my thyroid. Definitely have to work on that. So I will be taking supplements for that. Now there is one thing that seriously worried me, like put a major scare into me. And I've never had a doctor test me for this ever. But she did. She knows. She was the one who recommended the TPO antibody test for the thyroid when I went to my other doctor, and my other doctor wasn't going to order that test. So my cousin is really into holistic health, and she knows what to test. She's amazing. So she tested me for my HSCRP. That I believe measures the inflammation in the body and in the arteries. This was a little bit scary to me because I thought that I was doing something really good for myself. I've never had this tested, so I don't even know what my number is. It could have been a lot higher at some point when I was almost 50 pounds heavier. I'm sure it was. Um, so my HSCRP, I have high inflammation. Anything less than 2.99 is normal. I clocked in at 13.10. She has a goal of me to get it down to 6 the next time I get my blood work done. She says a good way to do this is to take, again, fish oils, omega-3, eat omega-3 fatty fish, which I'm not super into fish. Like I'll eat it once in a while. So she did recommend a really good fish oil supplement, which I will start taking every single day. And hopefully that'll help with the diet and the exercise. She also told me to not eat high inflammatory foods and try to eat closer to a Mediterranean diet, which for the most part, it's been pretty close to that. I'm not going to say it's 100%, but she says try to stay away from cheese, sugar. I love cheese, by the way. Or just eat it in like slight moderation, which I did yesterday. I had a beet salad and I put a tablespoon of blue cheese crumbles, and me and my husband split that beet salad. So it was like a half a tablespoon of blue cheese crumbles on my, just for like flavor. But anyway, so she wants me to eat a low inflammatory diet, which is really hard to do, but I am trying. So I'm trying to make some substitutes. I'm trying to eat more sweet potatoes, more beets. She wants me to eat a lot of leafy greens. So my really good friend Mary told me that she makes a smoothie every morning with a half of frozen banana, frozen blueberries, or strawberries. And then she puts kale or frozen spinach in there with almond milk. She goes, it's really good. You can't taste the greens. So I think I'm going to do that to get a serving of greens in. I'm going to try to do that every day to make a green smoothie, as long as it doesn't taste like spinach, which she said it doesn't. The fruit overpowers it. So that's good. So I need to eat anti-inflammatory foods, and I'm also going to start taking turmeric to help the inflammation in my body. This inflammation is causing inflammation in my arteries, which it's really hard for me to say this out loud. I'm at high risk for a heart attack. I thought that since I have like pretty much normal cholesterol now, and I got my blood pressure down, and I'm no longer pre-diabetic, that I would not be at high risk to get a heart attack, but I'm a high risk for a heart attack. And that really put a scare into me. I've never been tested for this before, and I'm really grateful that she did test it, because maybe I wouldn't be thinking about it as much, and maybe it'll help me make better choices most of the time when I can control my food at home. So last night for dinner, I had a garlic sriracha baked chicken breast. It was really good, with a baked roasted sweet potato and a small side of a beet salad, and it was actually really filling. She says, I know you can't make it perfect every time, but try to have as much control of it as you can, at least when you're by yourself at home, to eat this way. Like, I went to my grandma's the other day. She has nothing healthy in her house. I had a half of a sandwich, two tiropita triangles, or like cheese baked in phyllo. It's not healthy. And she had pork sausages. She's like, try to stay away from a lot of like gluten if you can, which I have stayed away from gluten a great deal. I've cut back on it so much. I mean, it's not like I'm never gonna eat a piece of bread again, but you guys, I've cut back on that stuff by like 80%. Like 80%. I understand, like, if we go somewhere on the weekend or if we have a party to go to, yes, I have a serving. I don't pig out on it, but at home, like, I've cut back on that so much. So she said just try your best to stop eating that. So all those things, to have as much control of it that you can. And I do. So this morning for breakfast, I'm going to make eggs with avocado. The only thing she told me is keto might not be a high fat, super high fat keto diet. She says, try to eat good carbs and to cut as many of the carbs out that you can control on a daily basis. So, and like I said, we rarely eat rice. If we do, it's maybe once or twice a month. If we have pasta, it's once or twice a month. We've cut back so much on all this stuff. And she just said that, try to cut your carbs, but try not to go full keto. She's worried because I have inflammation in my arteries that it will cause a blood clot by eating high saturated food. So she told me to stick more with coconut oil, olive oil, extra virgin olive oil, which for the most part I have. She did say try to stay away from canola oil, which I do use canola oil to coat my eggs. So after I'm done with this, I probably will switch to olive oil. And she says definitely get exercise in, which I've been doing 2 miles every day for the last week. Before it was like zero point 0.8. This morning I was in pain. My knee was hurting, my foot was hurting, but I freaking pushed myself really hard. Um, to get that 2 miles, and I did. I freaking did it, and I'm hurting now, and I'm gonna ice my foot and my knee, and hopefully tomorrow. Sorry guys, my battery died earlier while I was filming, so I'm gonna just finish this up right now. So I was just saying that I'm gonna ice my knee and my foot, and hopefully I can get through the pain and push myself, and because I gotta do it, you know. And once winter comes, I have to get a treadmill because I can't just start working out now and then throw it away in the wintertime because I don't have a treadmill and it's just way too cold here in the, you know, in Illinois, because it gets freakishly cold out to the point where I won't want to be outside. I'm not going to go outside if it's 10 degrees, you know. So I am pushing myself, even when I don't want to, even when I'm hurting. I don't know if that's good or that's bad if I'm hurting and I'm doing it, but I'm just going to ice my foot, my knee. My knee starts to feel better once I start moving. So I don't know if it's also because it was raining. I know I have issues with the weather outside too, and then my knee will start hurting because it's been feeling really great up to this point. But I also have plantar fasciitis on my foot, and you know, I have all the great things that you could think of that just makes life a little bit more difficult. So sorry I was crying like a crybaby on my video earlier, but I do get emotional thinking about the fact that I could get really sick, even though that I did lower my cholesterol, my glucose, my sugar, my A1C, my triglycerides, my blood pressure, and I'm still at high risk for a heart attack. So she said once you start getting more weight off, those numbers should go down even more. I think it's called HRCRP or HBCRP. I forget what it's called, that test. She goes, the inflammation should go down if you are continuing to cut some of those foods out. So, and that's what I'm going to do. Now, I love pasta, so she says try gluten-free, but you know, rice bothers me too. So they do have pasta made out of chickpeas, which I've tried before. I wasn't a fan. Maybe I'll try a different brand. Or they also have it made out of edamame or even red lentils. So I've seen Trader Joe's carry the red lentil pasta. And then there is a high fiber, lower carb pasta that's regular white pasta. It's like $4 for an 8-ounce bag. So was it like $8 a pound? But I think I might order some just to try it and literally just have pasta once a month as I've been doing, nothing crazy. But when I do have it, maybe I can have it like a gluten-free version. So maybe, you know, I'll get the red lentil or the chickpea, and try that. So anyway, I'm gonna end this here. I don't know if there was anything else that I wanted to add to that. That was just like my blood work. And hopefully I can continue to improve. There's a massive improvement on my blood work, but I still have a road to go because I still am overweight. I'm still obese. And this is this is my life. It's going to be a lifelong journey, a lifelong struggle. It's never just going to end. I'm just going to have to keep working on it as long as I'm here on earth and breathing. And I pray to God that that is a very long time. You know, I mentioned to my husband, you don't see too many obese people living into their old age. So we're younger now. We're not young, but we're younger. So let's try to, you know, let's try to work on that. So anyway, I think that's all I really wanted to add to that. And I'll try to get this up today. Today's Friday. I didn't even post my video from last Saturday yet. Maybe I'll post last week's video tomorrow, and then tomorrow's video a few days after that. I don't know, guys, but I am so tired. I just had some things going on and just been really busy this week, so please bear with me. But yeah, I thought that my blood work was more important than my weigh-in, And again, I'll have this to look back on in a few years, and hopefully my numbers will be even, better from there. So thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for hanging out. Sorry I got emotional earlier. And we'll talk soon, okay? All right, guys. Bye. Take care.